Welcome to our crazy life.
Yeah, I do. Hey Yeti, would you like to come help me harvest some Brussels sprouts? Do you know how to harvest Brussels sprouts? Yes. You do? Can you teach me? Good deal. All right, let's do it.
Let's do garden grocery shopping.
Is your favorite way to grocery shop?
All right, Buggy, so tell us, how do you harvest a Brussels sprout, you think?
Today, I harvest a Brussels sprout. Get the knife, you chop out off the side, or you use the Brussels sprouts, and then you chop off the Brussels sprout.
So you find the side of the Brussels sprout that's touching the stalk, and then you chop it off? Okay, are we doing a little bit of an experiment and wondering if they'll grow back like cabbage grew back?
Yes.
Yes, because sometimes when you buy Brussels sprouts, you can buy them still on the stalk, right? And then you and Bubby act like you have a Brussels sprout sword, and you try to whack each other with them, because that's exciting. But today we're going to cut the Brussels sprouts off, the big ones. Like, how big a Brussels sprout?
I'm going to and then cut the Brussels sprout.
Come back. So, like, how big of a Brussels sprout is big enough to cut off? Because they're not all the same size, are they? Show me with your fingers. Like, is this too big? They're about that big? We want Brussels sprouts about that big?
No, about as big as...
Do we want, like, the size of this rock or the size of this rock?
The size as... an eyeball.
Of an eyeball? That sounds good to me. Brussels sprouts the size of an eyeball. Nice. So we're gonna look on the Brussels sprouts. We're gonna slide in, and this is how Brussels sprouts grow. In case you didn't know. How cool is that? Now, let me be really honest with you. When we first planted the Brussels sprouts, I had no idea they grew up the stalk like this. I did know Brussels sprouts grew on a stalk, but I kept looking right here. See how this is kind of like a head of cabbage-ish looking? And I kept thinking that the stalk was gonna pop up here and I was gonna see Brussels sprouts. I kept peeling these back and looking for that to be a Brussels sprout and it to take off. Anyway, so that was really funny. And then one day I bent down, because there used to be zucchini growing down this center here. It was delicious. I bent down and I saw that some of these guys were yellowing, and I popped one off and I saw, oh look, there's Brussels sprouts growing all up the sides. And I felt kind of silly because I had no idea how they grew. And so now, if you ever plant Brussels sprouts, you can spare yourself feeling silly, and you can know where they come from.
And we want a Brussels sprout this big.
That big? That is a good size.
Big, or that.
Those are delicious sized Brussels sprouts. So we think we're gonna cut them off, but look, Yeti, look what Mom's doing. You're walking away. Trying to pop it. Oh, I got this one just to pop off. And look at that, a beautiful Brussels sprout.
I don't want to break off anything.
Millie approves. Look at all that dirty Brussels sprouts right now.
Put them in a bag of water and wax.
Do you like Brussels? Do you like Brussels sprouts?
Yes, my favorite.
we're back in the house. We have our bag of Brussels sprouts. Because we just picked them from our garden, we're going to soak them in salt water for a little bit so that if there's anything living inside of them that we don't want to eat, it will come out because of the saltiness of the water. So I'm dumping our really dirty Brussels sprouts. I'm gonna run water over them because we stacked them in dirt, so they picked up extra dirt. But I am going to rinse these babies off, and then I will make some salty water. Okay, so we're rinsed off, less dirty, and they're still gonna get washed yet again. So now I'm going to add just some salt because worms and bugs and whatever do not like salt. I'm just using really cheap salt because it's just gonna go down the drain. And here I have slightly warm water because it helps to dissolve the salt a little bit faster, just because the water molecules are moving faster, I guess, since they're warm. And then I'm going to let these guys sit. I'm going to push everybody under periodically as I let it wait for like 15 minutes. The very first time I ever did this, so when we got married, we lived in Shelby, and we had our backyard was like literally 2 feet, and then we hit a farmer's field. But right outside our back door, we planted some broccoli seed and some cauliflower seed, kind of on a whim. And we grew broccoli, and we got like 1 head. And my dad told me that we had to, actually it was my stepmom, told me that I had to soak it in salt water to make sure that there were no worms in it. And so I'm thinking, why would there be worms in my broccoli? This is so weird. But I did it anyway, and I'm so glad I did, because these little worms came out of the broccoli that we looked at it and we're like, there's no bugs in here. We don't have to do that. Well, there were bugs in there. I'm glad we did that. So thank you, Grandma Joanne, for saving us from eating those worms. So these guys are gonna sit for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to cut everybody in half, set them out on a pizza pan, roast them, drizzle them with some olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic powder, roast them for a few minutes, and while that's going, I will reduce, which means cook down, some balsamic vinegar, and then I'll mix that with maple syrup and drizzle that over the top, and then we'll eat them. And I will show you guys that in about 15 minutes. So, we have been soaking for about 15 minutes.
About 15 minutes, not 21.
Not 21, definitely
Yeah,
not.
21 minutes, it would be over a day.
And I actually don't see any bugs per se. I do see a lot of dirt. I have a lot of debris coming up, bits of dirt and yuck, which we'll rinse out. But I don't really see any bugs, which is good. I prefer to not have bugs in my dinner. But lots of beautiful Brussels sprouts. Mommy's gonna go rinse them off and rinse off the saltiness.
Rinse off the saltiness. Then I'm gonna put on all that stuff.
We don't want our sprouts to be salty, do we? Alright, so, Yeshima, what are we doing now?
We are going to put these on, cut them up with the red knife and put them onto this.
So I'm going to cut off any nubs that we have, right?
Yep.
And where do they go?
In the chicken bucket.
In the chicken bucket. What about wayward leaves like that? That's just kind of crazy,
Yeah,
guys.
we're going to put them in the
Chicken bucket. And then I will cut the sprout in half, and you can put it on the pan, okay?
Wherever Jolly will please.
Wherever you jolly well please. Yes, please.
I put them the stems close together.
All right. That sounds jolly well to me. I'll just set them there and you do.
Because I might do stuff wrong.
Because I might be faster, you might be faster. Who knows? Oh, I think that's a chicken one. That looks more like super loose. They don't taste very good at that point. I want to go to the chickens.
See, I'm doing a circle.
Oh, I like your circle.
Believe.
Oh, they fall off sometimes. It's okay. It'll roast up and it'll taste yummy. Those get really crispy, like kale chips. It's a Brussels chip.
It is kale, like kale.
Yeah, it's in the same family. So when we were outside, I was chalking, but I have a feeling that that was really windy. So I will tell you again. Another really loose one. Brussels sprouts are in the same family as kale, cabbage, broccoli.
Mom, be slower, be slower.
Oh, I got lots to do, Buggy. I don't want to be slower. I want to get it done. And those are the brassica family. And kale, if you've ever grown kale. Whoop! I gave you a whole one. Silly Mom.
Yeah.
Good thing we have you for quality control.
Yeah. Oh, and another leaf fell off.
Kale, you'll cut off if you're growing, and it'll keep, you don't cut the whole plant out of the ground. You just rip off the leaves you want to eat, and it'll keep growing you new leaves. Broccoli, like Avery talked about a few days ago, I think in our How Does Our Garden Grow update, broccoli we cut the heads off and it grows more heads. It never grows as big of a head, but it keeps growing more broccoli. And it appears as though these lovely Brussels sprouts are going to do the same. You saw our cabbage, we cut the head off of the one and it's growing more. They won't be as big, but it's more cabbage. And the Brussels sprouts, like I just said a second ago, will be the same. They're growing more Brussels sprouts. So that's kind of exciting. I don't know how big they'll be, if they'll be as delicious as these. Maybe they'll be more tender, maybe they'll be a little bit bitter. But since they're already growing and our season here isn't long enough for me to harvest these Brussels sprouts and stick something else in that ground and have it grow to fruition before the snow starts to fall. So I'm not gonna pull them out. I'll just let them grow and we'll figure it out. It'll be a learning experience. And a lot of our gardening is a learning experience because we don't have a lot of past history with it.
We have to make up how you do the kale, whatever that's called.
Kale?
No, not kale.
No.
What are those like big things that Dad talked about? Yes, that Dad talked about.
Broccoli?
No, that Dad talked about when. No, in the video when he's like, these are something, and these are something.
I don't know what you're talking about. You'll have to explain to me. Was it food?
Yes.
Was it green?
Yes.
Was it in our garden?
Yes.
Are you licking the kale?
No.
Good, because these are Brussels sprouts. Are you licking the Brussels sprouts?
No.
Good. I don't know what you're talking about. What was Dad saying about it? I've guessed a lot of things.
Guess like everything that's green.
Okay. Kale.
No.
Broccoli.
No.
Spinach.
No.
Lettuce.
No.
Tomatoes before they're ripe.
Wait, it was spinach. Dad talked about spinach and then grew back.
This is a cabbage we picked. Check that out. More came up in its place, like 4 or 5 little cabbages sprung up.
Interesting.
Which these are going to go back too. I'm setting them up in a Pacific way.
Not an Atlantic way?
Now I just move.
That would be crazy.
Now.
You know what? Once you have them all arranged, I'm actually going to rinse them off on that tray and then dump them back in my bowl because I have to drizzle them with olive oil.
And then we have to put them all back.
And then we'll dump them back on there, yeah.
And then they'd be delicious.
They will be mouth-wateringly delicious.
Yum.
Yum.
Mom, look how much you're doing. I cannot even get all those.
You can't. I bet we can eat all those. Though.
You can just put them on there.
Okay.
However you want.
Chop and drop. Is that what I'm doing?
You're chopping, dropping right here, and then I put them in a pile.
And you're plopping.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We.
Yeah, crazy runaways.
Mine just got a runaway. What crazy? Anyway.
Oh, look. Here's another one growing off of the mama. This was the mama, and she has a baby. Ta-da!
The baby.
Yeah.
Can I show?
Mhm.
The baby, and then the mama had the baby. Are we gonna eat this part?
No, because that's the stem, and then we didn't let the baby grow big enough.
No. The mama had a baby. Mama had the baby.
That's what mommies do, huh?
Yep, mommies have babies.
That's what makes them mommies.
Yep, yes, they have babies. And they do what they jolly well please.
The babies or the mamas?
The mamas. The mamas do what they jolly well please when they're growing, I mean. Like just grow. Drop the dog. You can do whatever you want by dropping. Just have to drop right here.
Whatever I want, as long as that's what you want. Sounds about right.
You can be like zoom. Be like how wherever you want to put them, Elise, by dropping. Whereas
Like boom.
Yeah, like boom. And
Hey, bud.
okay.
Do you like Brussels sprouts?
When you don't make them mushy.
I like them crispy too. If they get mushy, count me out.
2 by 2, that's how it goes.
Just like Noah in the ark.
So you do 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then you do 2.
Okay. So, after all that chopping, we're going to add some olive oil to the bowl because I don't want it to go through on my counter. And add my Brussels sprouts back in. Buggy, you want to grab it around ways? You can see my pan is full of holes, which actually helps the Brussels sprouts to roast evenly. Any guys who fell on the floor need rinsed, not chucked back in my bowl. Thank you. Just because we live here.
And then we can put the olive.
So we have olive oil in here. You want to get us a measuring spoon, bud?
We got this now.
Yes.
Now,
I'm gonna add some pepper and some real salt. And then this is onion powder. Yep. There you go. This is a half teaspoon. Will you sprinkle that all over the top for us? Don't dump it. Sprinkle. Thank you. Oh yes. Lovely. And then some garlic powder.
The girls are naughty.
I have no idea.
Can I sprinkle?
Yes, you can. Just all over like this, okay? Oh.
Add a little bit more.
That's okay. All right, and then we're going to just mix it up and make it delicious. So we're making tortillas also today, but we are not going to be recording that
I will show you
because
the tortillas.
my hands are really messy.
These are the tortillas.
That's the tortilla batter or dough all mixed up.
Batter and dough are
I feel like
That is true.
pancake batter.
Well, it's basically flour, salt, and coconut oil. So
And I
water.
smell coconut oil.
So there are
This is
our
it.
lovely Brussels sprouts, an entire pan full. I could be really meticulous and put them all one side
That
down.
is 25.
25 right there.
Chop,
Give or
chop,
take.
chop. 22 actually now.
Well, like
Oh.
give.
22
Probably a lot of
chop.
giving. So we have them all spread out. I'm not going to make them all face down, like open side down, because as I showed you, my pan has holes. So it'll roast nice and evenly on both sides. We got this lovely pan from a dear friend, Miss Clara. You should find a Miss Clara near you to give you a pizza peel.
What is this for?
Or like Pizza Hut. I think
Did
it came
you
from a
just
Pizza
put
Hut.
that on?
I did put salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And
I'm trying to help Mom.
and now I have my oven preheating. It's going to be 425, and I'm going to stick these in there and let them roast for a little bit.
And then we would do the yummies.
All right, so our Brussels sprouts are looking delicious in the oven. And-
Brussels sprouts.
And Yeti's trying to talk to you, but she's too short. She doesn't make the
I didn't.
screen. And we have started making tortillas for our family to have some tacos later. So don't mind this. This is not what you're watching. But right here we're going to reduce the balsamic vinegar and then add some maple syrup towards the end so that hopefully when that 4-minute timer goes off, we can put it all together, drizzle it on the Brussels sprouts, and have Brussels sprouts in just a few minutes. So I'm adding about 1/4 to 1/2 cup. I have my heat on medium. This burner runs a little bit hot, so it's not quite too medium. So I can just kind of stir it around. I'll let it get heated up. It'll start bubbling. And once it does that, I will just let it go for a little bit, like less than a minute. And then I'll add some maple syrup, stir it again, and it should become a nice thick sauce.
I'm starting to smell that vinegar. It smells really good. Dad is back. You wanna go to Dad? Take your weapon with you. That smells so good. Just gonna add a touch of maple syrup. That was maybe a tablespoon. I don't know. And if you think that you don't like Brussels sprouts, I really suggest that you try a roasted Brussels sprout with balsamic vinegar, because I don't like steamed Brussels sprouts. I don't think I would eat a raw Brussels sprout per se. I don't know that I've ever had a raw Brussels sprout. I'm not sure what they taste like, but this is so good. It's like savory and sweet, crunchy because you're roasting them, not steaming them. Highly recommend it. Totally have to try it. So give it a shot. Now it's bubbling beautifully. We'll check these Brussels sprouts. Let me get that carrot green out of the way. Oh, they look beautiful. Look at those beauties. Ooh, okay, I can't see. Hold on a minute here. Look at those beauties. Woo! That looks delicious, doesn't it? Ahaha, there we go. That's what we're looking for. A lovely, like kind of thick. You can't see that because when I tilt the pan. Sorry guys. You're gonna have to take my word for it. This is a lovely, thick glazy goodness. I think I could thicken just slightly more. See those bubbles? Thank you, Avery. See those amazing bubbles.
Yum, yum.
Does it smell good in here, Yeti?
Yum.
Does it smell good in here?
Yes.
Are you excited to have some roasted Brussels sprouts? Does that sound like nails on a blackboard to anyone else?
Yes.
I think when you're making a reduction like this, slow and low is the name of the game. You don't want to like heat it up really fast and then hope that you're done, because you'll scald it and it won't taste very good. Oh yes, there we go. Even more beautiful. Alright, so Rosie was just licking the tool that I would like to use to put this on the Brussels sprouts, so I'm not going to use that. I'm going to grab a spoon. So I'm going to just take and kind of drizzle this all over. I'm totally making a mess on the counter, I would say. Yeti is entertaining you with her jazz hands. Welcome to our crazy life. And there we go. We'll wait about 3 more minutes to let that kind of caramelize in there, and then we're feast.
And then we'll feast today.
Woohoo! Have a smooch. The rest of our meal is not quite ready, but the Brussels sprouts are. And you've been following along so faithfully, so here we are. Buggy and I are going to taste them for you. Ready? Get a good one. Oh, look at that deliciousness. Ready? Are they hot? Oh, Maddie's going to sneak in for the taste too. Got one? Maddie approves. Thank you. Got it? Eat it up, Buttercup. So yummy. Sweet, savory, perfectly roasted. I love it. I hope you enjoyed my little story of garden to house. Making Brussels sprouts. You like them? Yeah, your face doesn't say you like them. Are you sure you like them? That's your happy face?
I'm like, it's not that hot.
Oh, it's not that hot. It's your hot face. Gotcha. Gotcha. So did you like them, Bug? Still your favorite vegetable for today? Till we pick something else tomorrow? Alright. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, as Avery always tells you. Feel free to comment and let us know what kind of stuff you want to see in our vlogs. Please subscribe, share our videos, and y'all have a blessed day.
Blessed day.